So, because I think a lot of the underappreciation from this character just comes from people not really knowing anything about him, let's skip the character analysis and just go into the history lesson. About 40 years before the current events of the books, so think way back when Mad King Aerys' grandfather, Aegon V, was still just at the end of his reign. A family called the Blackfyres, who were distant cousins of the Targaryens but through a bastard line, decided that one day it would be a great idea to try and claim the throne from the Targaryens. Aegon V, of course, wasn't keen on this, and he sent some of his best warriors to stop them. This resulted in an absolute obliteration of the Blackfyres, who are now essentially an extinct house. This rebellion was later known as the War of the Ninepenny Kings, and because Brynden Tully performed so well in battle, he became an extremely revered and honored knight throughout the Seven Kingdoms. When he went back home to Riverrun, his older brother Lord Hoster Tully wanted his now extremely famous bachelor brother to marry a rich highborn lady of another house, in order to bolster the Tullys' fortune and status. But Brynden refused time and time again, saying he had absolutely no interest in marriage. This caused a lot of friction between the two brothers, until one day Hoster spitefully declared at a dinner feast that Brynden was the black goat of the Tully herd. But Brynden embarrassed his brother when he accurately pointed out that the Tully sigil is a fish, not a goat. And from that day on, he took on the nickname Blackfish, and bore a modified Blackfish family sigil as his personal coat of arms, just to further piss off his brother. The two never resolved their feud, and weren't really on speaking terms all the way up until Hoster's recent death. So where has Blackfish been lately? Well, most recently he's been kicking ass and taking names for Robb Stark. Where is he after recent events? Well, let's just say we haven't seen the last of him, and the next time we do, it may or may not involve an epic swimming maneuver on his part. I'll mention a shallow reason as to why more people should like him right off the bat, and say that Blackfish is one seriously badass-as-hell character, but he's also wise, chivalrous, and an independent thinker with a pretty good sense of humor. He's done his character arc, and has been since long before we ever meet him, but he's the perfect example of how a mostly static character can still be awesome. I have no doubt that we'll get more of the same from Blackfish when he continues to pop up later on in the story, but this isn't a bad thing because he has just as much personality as a lot of the more main characters in the story. As to where he swims off to, well, even us book readers don't know that yet, but being ever the cunning strategist and solid warrior, you can bet on the fact that he has a plan, and I'm gonna bet that it's a good one.